Alright, you guys, welcome back to some more 9-9. We were just on our date with Kujo, or Miyako, I should probably call her now, that we're on a first name basis here. And we ended up spending about 2 hours around 2, which was fun. And so I kind of ended the video at kind of a point I normally wouldn't, just because I want to see what's going to end up happening after the date. I feel like things have been going a little too well, if you know what I mean. So we're going to continue on, and we'll find out what happens. By the time we get out, the sun is setting. The sky above us is turning from orange to red. While I'd like to spend more time here, I decided that was probably enough for today.
晩ご飯はまだちょっと早いね。
そうだな。
もう少しだけどこかで時間を潰す？
いや、今日は解散にしよう。
That's not what you say, my guy. What do you mean? Let's end the day. Yeah, I bet. A little stab of pain and a little rush of joy hits me at the same time. But I have my reasons for wanting to end our date
あんまり
early.
遅くなると心配でさ。
心配？
今更だけど、夜はなんかな。一人にするの。
ありがとう。でも自転車だから大丈夫だよ。
You know, after what we saw last time that happened to her when she met with the evil eye user, I'm not letting her go nowhere.
分かってる
Especially
け
at
ど、
night. What the frick?
早く帰れる日は早く返したい。
じゃあ帰る。
それじゃあ。自転車取りに行かなきゃか。
そうだね。
そうだ。みやこ、ランプ持つよ。
大丈夫。
いいから。
Despite her trying to demur, I somewhat instantly snatched the bag away from
本
her.
当に大丈夫なのに。
分かってる。けど、カバンもあるし。これなら片手完全に自由になるだろう。
With that stellar explanation, I stick out my right hand. Miyako timidly takes it. I wrap my rough fingers around her
ナイ
smooth
ンボー
hand.
ルまで。
ありがとう。
Her voice is small and bashful now. It may just be the sunset, but Miyako sure looks like she's blushing. Yeah, sunset. Can't help but worry about her. There's a murderer on the loose in our city, and today has undoubtedly been the happiest day of my life. As soon as I read something like that, I'm like, oh boy, are things going downhill fast. We are pretty screwed, aren't we? And I have a feeling I'll be able to say that again tomorrow, and then No. What's gonna happen tonight? Something bad. This is why I ended the video early last time, because I'm like, I already knew it was coming. I'm just waiting. I'm a patient man, sometimes. 5:08. I frittered away my weekend. I actually wanted to go on another date today, but I get the feeling that asking her out every day would be pushing it, so I hold back. Besides, she seems to have a shift starting in the early evening and going in until night. I loaf around my room, still basking in the afterglow of yesterday's date. I'm Miyako's boyfriend. Yesterday's date was the only the beginning of our relationship, because in addition to dates, there's also... With that thought, I sink down under the waves of giddiness again. Man, how am I so far gone? You know, I've seen worse, so I think you're doing okay. I'm well aware I need to chill up. I just can't help it. I can't fight my feelings. It's gonna be Sora, isn't it? Oh wait, no, Sora has the key. Never mind, it can't be Sora. So I'm still lying around grinning like a dope. The doorbell rings. Who would it be at this hour? Man, probably just a door-to-door salesman. I consider ignoring it, but once the thought crosses my mind that might be Miyako, I pull to the door like a moth to a flame. I respond while getting up and walk to the entrance.
あれ。
こんばんは。ごめんなさい、遅くに。
I didn't seriously think it would be her. I asked Miyako to wait a moment so I can close the door and undo the chain, then I open the door again to show her inside.
お邪魔します。
どうしたこんな時間に。
Just until he shows me the little box
売れ
she's
残っ
carrying.
たケーキ、おじいさまが持っていけって。
Frickin' let's go!
ケーキ？
よかったらどうぞ。
I would hope so. Imagine she just brings a cake to our house. She's like, yeah, that'll be 750 yen, please.
あ
no?
ありがとう。わざわざ届けてくれたのか。
明日まで持たないかもしれないから。ソラちゃんは？
いや、今日は来てない。
Yeah, that's a good thing.
そっか。2つ 入ってるんだけど。
2つ。
I mean, you can share one with me if you're hungry.
おじいさんに話した。
Why did you make that sound so scandalous? You tell your grandfather about us?
でも気づいてるかも。
She smiles, her cheeks flushed. He probably caught on from the way Miyako's been acting. Going to 9 ball is gonna be tougher from now
もう
on.
遅いけど、門限とか大丈夫か？
大丈夫。
なら一緒に食べないか？ケーキ。
そう言ってくれるのを待ってた。
I don't know about y'all, but I love the way he says keiki. He has like this really like manly way of saying it. He's like, keiki. I'm like, well, okay. I mean, I don't float that way, but like, dang, okay.
だよな。用意するよ。
私がやるから。
俺がするって。
私がやる。
All right, we'll allow you. We start bickering over it, but for some reason, as we set out the spread. I carry the cake box to the table and open it up. There's a slice of cheesecake and a slice of chocolate cake.
どっちがいい？
かけるくんから選んで。
I would go for cheesecake. I will eat chocolate, but it's not really my favorite. It's too much
じ
for me.
ゃあ、
Pick the cheesecake. Miko takes the chocolate one. Good man. I put my hands together in thanks and I pick up my
急に
fork.
来て本当にごめんね。
ケーキなんて自分では買わないから嬉しいよ。それに、みやこと今日会ってなかったし。
ありがとう。もしかしたらおじいさまが口実を作ってくれたのかも。私も会いたかったから。
そうか。
Good man. I like him already.
半分食べる？
いや、じゃあ、半分ずつ食べようか。
How am I supposed to read that?
いいかも。
Why is it in Japanese? Unreasonably flustered, we dig into our cake. Just that one line is in Japanese. Oh my gosh. Now that I think about it, this is the first time we've been alone in my apartment since we started dating. Uh-oh, I can't stop the flood of impure thoughts. Miko's breathing is soft and ordinary, and yet I can hear it so vividly that it makes my heart race. We make eye contact. Now I'm barking up the wrong tree here, but I have a feeling Miyako understands what's on my mind right now. Can I really do this? Maybe I could gently slip my arm around her shoulders. Maybe I could say she's got some frosting on her lips. Slowly close the distance. I'm going in for the kiss. No!
こんばん
No!
は。
Cucked again! The only appropriate response to this.
何よその顔。
別に。
No particular reason. You leave us alone all this time only to pop up now. Could you have picked a worse time? No, I am above such petty thoughts. No, actually I'm not.
ソフィーさん、お久しぶりです。お久しぶり。ごめんなさいね。二人で楽しんでいるときに。
Yeah, I'm sure you're real sorry, you prick.
だから何よその顔は。
Cause you're a cuck. You ruined the moment.
いいえ、なんでもないっすよ。
Sophie gives me a sidelong glance and harumps. This punk is definitely interrupting us on
何
purpose.
の用だ？しばらく出てこなかったのに。
様子を見ていたのよ。
Ah, I'm sure.
ごめんなさい。あまり進展していなくて。
We've literally just been dating.
そうね。
No
小
progress.
言でも言おうかしらと何度か思ったのだけれど。
Oh, good. I'm glad the plushie from another universe wants to scold us.
何ですか？この枝の都は無事みたいでよかったわ。
What? Okay, so I've been reading y'all's comments, okay? I respond, right? Y'all were making assumptions about there being like an alternative universe, and I was like, nah, I don't think that's what it was saying. It was saying this, right? What am I supposed to make of this? Miyako of this branch? What? What do you mean? I need answers.
なんだよ枝って。
今この世界に流れている時間そのもの。
わかるように。
本当お猿さんね。
I'm sorry, I'm just the way I am. But hold up, are we not going to talk about that? What do you mean of this branch?
世界は様々な可能性が重なっている。今あなたたちが一緒に食事をしているのもあまたに存在する可能性の一つに過ぎない。
This is why someone mentioned this game being like Steins Gate. I see now. We're going into world lines. We gotta reach Steins Gate. Well, you know, I've played through both the main games. I really need to go for the side ones. If you guys are interested in watching me play some of the side Steins Gate games, like what there's like Phenogram and My Darling, something like that, I would love to play those. I just didn't think anybody would be interested in seeing me. I've never played any of those, so maybe one day. If you're interested, let me know. It's only taking place along one timeline among a multitude. Okay, I need to know what is their definition of like how that works. Like, so is there multiple things going on, but like only one of them's active at a time? How does that work?
世界は可能性の数だけ枝分かれするの。
平行世界ってことですか？
そう、Miyakoはやっぱり賢いわね。その平行世界を私は枝と呼んでいる。
で、その枝がなんだって？
私は枝分かれした可能性を知ることができるの。アーティファクト、世界の目の力によって。
Oh, so you have the world's eye. Okay, interesting. I'm gonna guess based on what Sophie is saying is that there's only one ever active at a time, but she can see the possibilities of like, okay, if you make this decision or this decision, this is what will happen. So she's probably going around like looking at all the different possibilities, and maybe is trying to figure out like what we should be doing to get to like a better possibility. I don't know, just an idea.
世界の目、平行世界で起こったことがわかるってことですか？
So like you're not really changing anything in this world line, but you can like look at the other world lines and figure, okay, like here's what's happening because of this, this, and this, and then you could use that information to influence this one. If that's where we're going, but I'm not sure. That could be totally wrong.
そうね。別の枝で私が経験しうることに限るけれど、今日は特別にその別の枝の出来事をあなたたちに教えてあげに来たの。
Okay, so that's why Sophie's been gone for so long. Like she has to physically be there to experience the different events.
宮子の無事を確認したよな。
妙なところは鋭いのね。
宮子に何かあったのか？
何かあったどころじゃないわ。Miyako?
Wait. Is Sophie saying that she saw the other ending? Like the ending before we went back? Is that what Sophie's implying right now? So where Miyako got turned to stone, is that what she's trying to tell us right now? Like she saw that world line?
はい。
2日前、この世界だと金
That's
曜
exactly what
日
she's
って
telling
いうの
us.
かしら？その夜にあなた魔眼のユーザーに殺されたわ。
はい。
Miyako blinks, speechless. My thoughts freeze trying to process this idea. Miyako was murdered?
待て、どういうことだ？
大声出さないの。順を追って話してあげるから。
After another sigh, Sophie continues. God bless. I need a game that's like Steins Gate in my life. I freaking love Steins Gate to death. Anything that deals with time travel, I like it. Okay, well, I have a hard time saying I like anything with time travel, but I very much like games that incorporate time travel because it just makes so many different possibilities. It just makes it so much better. There's so much stuff that could happen. I love it. She explains that in another branching world we didn't end up getting together. Instead, we had a massive falling out with one another. Oh boy, we're going into this. I'm happy. I am very happy that this is where they're going with this. Things got worse as Miyako started using her powers on random people, probably focusing on students at her school so she could read their memories. In the end, she did successfully identify the evil eye's user, but after doing so, she rushed off alone to make contact with them. Game, what is this? Stop going Japanese. I know you're a Japanese game, but I
と
can't
いう
read
わけ
that.
でカケルがミヤコを見つけた時にはもう手遅れ。魔眼のユーザーに殺されてたってわけ。
Is Sophie gonna tell us who the evil eye user is? I'm sure she knows. That's all we can do. Is this some sort of bad joke? But Sophie's story is far too detailed just to laugh off. What's more, she shouldn't have any reason to play a prank like this in the first place. So that means she's telling the truth. In another world, Miyako ended up the third
話は
victim.
以上。気をつけなさい。魔眼のユーザー成長しているわ。
You frick! You didn't even tell us who it
力
is!
が強力になっているのか。
最初は表皮だけしか石化できなかった。しかも一部石化ができていなかったのか。けれどミヤコは体の内部まで石化していた。魔眼のユーザーはアーティファクトの力のすべてを引き出しつつある。
So my question is, if you just turn their skin to stone, could you technically... What's different about that than just killing them? I mean, obviously, like, if you chipped it away, you'd probably get to your insides and stuff. I mean, that's really gross, but that's still pretty much killing them. Are you telling me they were still alive to some degree, or...
内部。
ええ、そう。ミヤコの体は完全に石化し砕かれていた。
Bruh, this is what I was expecting. I was expecting this conversation when we first got back after that, like, bad ending. It's like crazy. We're having to get to episode 10 before we're getting an explanation about that.
砕かれ。
But you know, I like that in a way that they just kind of like brushed it off. They're like, oh, yeah, she died. What of it? And then we got this mind drop here. Like, just after they did a bunch of happy stuff. I knew it wasn't going to continue being happy. Like,
Oi,
obviously.
Sophie!
何よ。事
I was
実を
expecting
話
something
してい
darker
るだ
enough.
けでしょ。自分の死を聞かされてショックなのはわかるけれど、知っておく必要がある。
I mean, I think that's fair. I do think this is fair.
この枝でも死なないために。
I set down my fork with a clink. All the life has gone out of her eyes. Really? They look the same to me. She's in a daze. It's incredibly frustrating that I can't find the words to comfort her.
私の話をどう処理しようと勝手だけど、そんなに落ち込むことはないんじゃない？
Kind of. Hearing that you died in another world line, that you failed, isn't very reassuring.
落ち込ませるようなことを言ったくせに。
それはそうだけど、落ち込む話ばかりではないでしょ。
Yeah, but you're
ミ
just
ヤ
being
コは魔
insensitive.
眼のユーザーに負けた。でもそれは別の枝での話。この枝のミヤコは生きている。
Yeah, and we'd like to keep it that way, so...
魔眼のユーザーを特定できる可能性を残してね。
A bit of life returns to Miko's eyes.
そっか。石化されたってことは、私は魔眼のユーザーに会っている。
そう。言ったでしょ？あなたが特定したって。
So, the fact that she found the evil eye user, I believe is a hint that they're at our school, correct? Because Sophie mentioned that she was using her power on her classmates, and then she mentioned that she found the evil eye user and that the evil eye user killed her. So with that, I'm making the assumption that it's one of our classmates, like in our class. That just seems like the most logical thing to me. But it could just be someone in the school, I'm not sure.
うまく立ち回ることができれば、死ぬことなく魔眼のユーザーに勝てるんじゃないかしら。
I mean, they're not going to do something crazy like it being Yoichi, are they? Like, no. No, I don't think so.
私の
But
力
I don't
があ
know.
れば、犯行を止められる。
そうしてくれることを願っているわ。
私が。
She firmly clenches her fist. Sophie smiles in satisfaction.
どうやるかは任せるわ。別の枝であなたが何をしたかは私にはわからないし。
はい。やってみます。
The only reason I could give some credibility to it being Yoichi is that all the victims are girls, and that sort of seems like something Yoichi would do. But I'm like, I don't know, he just seems like our comedic relief character. Would it really be him? I only ask that because usually when you have a scenario like this, it's a character you've already met, and you're like, oh, later when you find out. I'm like, I don't think it's the other two girls. I don't know what Noah's power is, but I don't think it's her because she seemed really determined to find the person who was doing it. Really, my only suspect right now is Yoichi. So.
かけるも無能なりに都の力になりなさい。
言われなくてもそのつもりだよ。
結構。じゃあね、またそのうち。
Toodaloo. But I don't know. I'm not like dead set on Yuichi. I'm just saying if it had to be someone we already know, like it has to be him. Like there's nobody else I really feel like I could say with reasonable certainty. With those parting words, Sophie disappears into a patch of distorted space. Different branches, parallel worlds, and in one of them, Miyako is murdered. No, I can't let this get to me. Gotta stay strong for her.
食べるか、ケーキ。
So, how about that cake? Yeah! You know, that was a fun conversation, but this cake is great. It's great. Grasping at straws to try to lighten the mood by reminding her about the cake. She went through all the effort to bring it over, and I'm truly grateful. I'd like us to enjoy it together. Her fork falls to the table with a
Miyako.
clank.
ごめんなさい。
Apologizes and reaches for the fork, but she fumbles and comes up empty-handed. Yeah, that wasn't, like, super reassuring to find out that you died in another branch, and you're like, oh, okay.
どうしたんだろう。ごめんなさい。
That doesn't instill confidence, guys. She grabs her wrist with the other hand, trying to stop it shaking. Her trembling only grows worse, and so soon she's shivering all over.
物語の主人公のつもりでいた。自分は死とは遠い場所にいるって想像力が足らなかった。どうしてそんな思い違いをしていたんだろう。そうだよね。たまたま力を得ただけ。私は特別じゃない。選択を間違えれば死ぬんだよね。
I mean, this is honestly a good thing for this Miyako, because now she knows, like, hey, I need to wake up to the reality that one false move and I could be killed. Like, that's a good thing to remember, right? It's like you're facing people with powers that you might not know. Obviously, we know the evil eye user's power, but you don't know how it works. You don't know its limits. You just know, like, hey, now they can probably turn you completely into stone, and they might be able to do it a lot faster and instantaneously than they did before. It sounded like she said that they were doing it piece by piece, so I'm imagining that took some time.
Miyako.
I call her name tenderly and take her quivering hand.
ありがとう。ごめんなさい。
無理しなくてもいいんだぞ。こんな言い方、都は嫌いだろうけど、この町を平和に。その志はとても立派だと思う。俺にはないものだ。けど何より俺は、都に傷ついてほしくない。
Oh yeah, I mean, nobody
Miyako.
wants that. Her shivering is calming down a bit. Although I'm trying to console her, my advice is cold and unforgiving. I even had to tell her it wasn't going to be what she wanted to hear, trying to soften the blow. But I still believe it's the best option. I want Miyako to live, even if that means the others are going to keep dying. But of course, I know already. I know what Miyako will
折
say.
れたくない。
She will press on regardless of what I
私
think.
は炎に恐れず立ち向かったかけるくんに見合う彼女になりたい。
You know, Miyako, I would catch a grenade for you.
俺はそんなに大した人間じゃないよ。
Maybe jump in front of a train if I'm feeling, you know, up to it.
私にとってはそうじゃない。
俺も。都に見合う彼氏にならないとな。
かけるくんは私にはもったいない人。あなたに近づきたいのに、私はまだまだ弱いね。
I do respect how humble Miyako is, though. Like, she never, like, really boasts about things too much, and she's always, like, acknowledging, like, hey, I can do better. She puts her shivering left hand atop mine, still holding her right hand.
自分の死を予言されることが こんなに怖いなんて知らなかった。
予言じゃないさ。
Let's go in my hand, a forlorn sigh. But I don't know, the fact that Sophie can witness other events, other like timelines like that, doesn't that mean they're alive too? Doesn't that mean that there's multiple world lines going on at the same time? Not like super hopeful. 'Cause, yeah, let's say that this Miyako survives, but there's a million other Miyakos. Muster up my courage. Why I really like the way Steins Gate did it, where there's only like one world line active at a time. I mean, maybe that's the case too. I'm not sure. Hopefully I'll find out as I keep playing.
ソフィーが話したのはあくまでも可能性の話だ。俺たちは今生きている。こうしてここにいる。
Okay, so maybe that's what he's saying right here. Like that's just that's something that could have happened, but it didn't. Or did it? I think it kind of happened.
それでももし不安ならこれから先死ぬかもしれないって怖いなら。
Gosh, sorry, I was like looking into her eyes and I got lost. Like it looks like some like whole universe in there.
俺が守る。都は
I feel
死
like
な
how
せ
they
ない。
did the eyes a lot.
ありがと
I mean, hey, as long as she doesn't go crazy again, we're good. And leans into me. Is this throbbing I can feel coming from her or from me? I don't know. But I do know that Miyako is soft and warm and that she smells sweet in my arms. I want to stay like this forever, but while at first I only feel concerned for her, soon enough my desires rear their ugly head. Realizing that selfish side of me, I chastise myself internally. I really am not the man Miyako thinks I am. I'm worried about what I might do if we stay like this much longer. Feels like you stopped shivering.
う。うん。止まってない。
Momentarily at a loss for words, but it only takes a moment to read between the lines. You too, huh, Miyako? Guess we're more similar than I thought.
もう少しこのまま。
少しじゃやだ。
じゃあずっと。
Nico's tension has all bled away, gone without a trace. She's entrusting all of herself to me, all her weight, all of her existence in the circle of my arms. She tilts her head up, and our eyes meet. Her face is flushed, her eyes are shimmering. I take a deep breath and drink in her sweet smell. My head is going blank, my heart is pounding. I'm taking advantage of her, a voice in the back of my head shouts at me. Maybe I am. Still, if I can wipe away Miyako's worries, her fears, then I'm fine with stooping that low. Okay. This is what I like to see. Drawn to each other, our passions inflame, we gently come together in a kiss. The lips are sweet, maybe the taste of cake. Doesn't matter. The rush of excitement and nervousness paralyzes my senses, and my heart hammers in my chest, so hard I can hear the blood pounding in my ears. Will that blood go into my head, I might just pass out. So far gone, I don't even know what it feels like. So a moment later,
もう一回。
she pleads as I kiss her slightly parted lips. When she does, before I realize it, I'm holding her tight in my embrace. Our first kiss was so good that it overwhelmed my senses. Hoping that Miyako feels the same about it. I think she does. Something about this scene gives me an idea that she feels the same way. Insatiable, we kiss each other again and again. Again and again. Our lips lock tirelessly as though all we need in the world is each other. At last we separate. Sweet sighs drift between the two of us.
ファーストキス。
俺も。
嬉しい。
She smiles and wraps her arms
ドキ
around
ド
me.
キして怖い気持ち。
よかった。
でもまだ震えてることにしてもいい？
Oh, of course. Yeah, we can
震
pretend.
えてなくても話すつもりはない。
また私が落ち込んじゃったらこうやってギュッとしてね。
あ
キスもしてくれる？
あ、落ち込んでない時でもしたい。
私も。
She grips me a little tighter. I put my hand on Miyako's head and gently stroke her hair. Neither of us says a word as we linger in each other's embrace. We can feel each other's heat.
じゃあ、
あ、
お邪魔様でした。
気をつけ。
I love that so much. It was a very like sweet scene. It was a scene where he was comforting her. Then they had their first kiss. Wasn't overly done. There was nothing else that happened, which I'm grateful for, because then that means that I don't have to awkwardly get around that or try reading it. It was nice. I can appreciate that. Worried about letting her go alone, but unfortunately I don't have a bike here. Maybe I should bring mine from home so I can see her home. As long as there's a risk of her being found by the culprit, that's the least I can do. I don't know what I would do if there's another bad ending. There was two. That would not be good. Return to my room and lounge in bed. Parallel worlds, branches. In another branch, Miyako and I had a falling out. Maybe it was during that awkward period a while ago. Unable to clear things up, Miyako went out on her own and lost to the culprit. But in this branch, we're together. Miyako has me on her side. I'm sure I can protect her. Now I just have to think, how are we going to do this? My only goal is, at all costs, to keep Miyako from dying. It's a good goal. I like that goal. Hey, it is May 9th, and as of the day I'm recording this, it is also May 9th.
10話のシーサの魔月の深淵より来たれりというセリフはこれから起こる凶事を予言する
Are
と
we
同
talking
時
about the
に
anime?
蛇神様のご降臨を
Once a week, the city force feeds us a crappy lesson that teaches us about the local folklore through detail from the anime that in no way helps us come test time for things that actually matter. He's really phoning it in. The whole class is ignoring her. She just looks so distraught about it. She's just like, oh, I have to teach this stupid thing again. She's just like, and then the great white serpent killed everybody. All right, we're done with this class. Let's move on. Same goes for me. I've been completely occupied trying to narrow down our killer's identity. Sophie gave us some useful information about what occurred in the other branch, but while I'm not sure I should believe anything she said, I'm not going to get anywhere without at least some sort of lead. I'm going to assume that everything Sophie told us was true, organize the information, then see what conclusions it leads me to. First of all, Miyako and I had a falling out for one reason or another. Because of that, Miyako went working on her own. As a result, Miyako used her ability to identify the culprit, and finally she was murdered by them. The situation is so radically different from what's happening in the world that I decided not to focus on how things would end up like that. I don't even have any idea why it would happen anyways. Most likely we've avoided whatever twist of fate caused us to separate, and thus Miyako won't go off on her own. The way I see it, since she's got me with her, the possibility of Miyako being murdered by the culprit has dropped considerably. Therefore, I can move on from that and focus on who Miyako used her abilities on. Going off what Sophie told us, Miyako identified the culprit in less than a span of a week. Some of that time was the Golden Week holiday, so it might have taken her a couple of days. How was she able to identify the culprit in such a short amount of time? I can't help but think they might be a student here, or a teacher, or maybe a customer at 9-Ball. But one way or another, the culprit must be somewhere very close by us. There's also one more point I should focus on, that being, why did the culprit smash Miyako's statue? The culprit had been simply turning girls into statues up until that point, so why did they go out of their way to break Miyako's statue and only hers after the petrification process? My immediate guess was they were trying to petrify them all the way, and maybe that's just their way of telling if they did so. Did they want to check if their abilities were developing? That's what I think. Or maybe they had a personal grudge against Miyako. Can't even imagine why someone would, but if that theory is correct, then the culprit must be someone with an extremely close relationship to Miyako. Otherwise, they'd have no reason. There would be no reason they'd have any strong feelings towards her after all. Now, taking all that into consideration, we have pretty clear guidelines on which to base our search. But whatever happens, we mustn't let people learn about her powers. Even if Miyako's powers rob the target of their memories of the whole event, anybody talking to them would easily detect that they're acting weird. It's a major weakness of her ability. The culprit is observant enough and smart enough to figure out what's going on, that using any powers for reckless abandon could be a huge risk. A lot to think about here, for sure. Sigh and take a step back. At the end of the day, there's no way to eliminate all the risks. All I can do is trust Miyako. Such a pathetic boyfriend. If I really am a user, I wish I'd unlocked my powers already. I don't know. I wonder if you already have. I'm gonna find out.
ここで注目していただきたいのが仁義白蛇の石岩でして これを用いて蛇神様はこの土地から邪気を。
I'm wondering if this is all important, if I should be really paying attention to what she's saying. The red eye of the white serpent. So we have a lot of talk about eyes. Like we have the evil eye, we have the world eye. Is it possible we have some kind of power with our eyes? Like, is that where a source of our power comes from? And is this red eye possibly something that we have? I'm not sure. To think of it, didn't Sophie mention something about the anime being pretty accurate? Sacred relic. Was the red eye of the white serpent an artifact? The world's eye, the evil eye. Wait a second. Been holding out on us. Maybe I was getting a little bit close to the idea here. After school, Miyako and I head out to the classroom and make a beeline for the front gate. There we plan to meet with Sora and head to my place.
お待たせ。
ああ、お疲れ。
あれ、みやこ先輩は
自転車取りに行ってる。
蹴ったか。
あ？
名古屋だと蹴ったマシンって言うんだって。
Okay.
かっこいいな。
合体しそうだよね。
お待たせ。
あ、来た。蹴った蹴った。
Getting her pushy on.
何？
方言なんだってさ。行こうぜ。
You know, let's just ignore Sora,
みやこ
guys.
先輩、カバン入れてもいい？
どうぞ。
Start walking together. Miyako says she wants to drop by the supermarket, but since the plan is to split up early today, we head straight to my place.
長い髪落ちてる。浮気ね。女連れ込んだでしょ。
Cheating with who?
そういうのいいから。
ごめんなさい。多分私。
みやこも真面目に答えなくていいから。
Yeah, ignore Sora. Dropping our bags wherever the three of us sit around the table. Now then, today we have a serious discussion ahead
ま
of
ず
us.
は。
あ、はい。
We haven't even started yet.
なんだそら。
二人に聞きたいことあります。かけるくんとかみやことか呼び方変わってたけど、お前ら付き合ってるだろ
Okay, fair enough. I'll allow this question. You know, we need to get this out of the way.
さて今日は。
う。わ、付き合ってんだ。嘘でしょ、付き合ってんだ。
I love how she's so astonished by it.
いいだろそれは。
Hold the freaking phone.
いや、よくないよ。何隠そうとしてんのこの野郎。
お兄様には大変よくしていただき。
What?
何その挨拶。私、あなたとの交際なんて認めませんことよ。
Well, Sora, you can leave right now. You freak.
いいから二人とも落ち着け。みやこも空の冗談に本気でショック受けなくていいから。
Absolutely true.
ごめんなさい。
くっそ。あることないことみやこ先輩に吹き込んで破局に追い込んでやる。
おいやめろ。
まあいいや、どうでも。で何？早く話してよ。
わめっちゃ不機嫌。とりあえずもう一人呼ぶ。
ソフィーさん？
そう。空はまだ会ったことないよな。
Interesting. I thought she had met her in the other branch. I keep wanting to say world line. I'm like, not playing Steins Gate as much as I wish.
名前聞いただけ。ぬいぐるみなんでしょ？
マスコットっぽい雰囲気を醸し出してるけど気をつけろよ。ソフィーいるんだろ。来てくれ。
Nope, she ain't here.
来ませんけど。
おい俺のこと監視してんだろ。聞きたいことあるから早く来てくれ。
Oh, now she comes. She's just like, hi, peekaboo.
何？すごいびっ。
A rift in space tears itself open and Sophie pops half her face through. About time she
ソフィ
showed
ー
up.
聞きたいことがあるんだ。ソフィー
それが人に物を頼む態度。
Don't act like you have feelings. So anyways,
前々から気になっていたのよね。あなた、礼儀がなってないって。特に私に対して。
because you don't look like a human, so why would I respect you? You look like some plushie.
それはお互い様だろ。
このまま帰ってもいいんだけど。
ソフィーさん聞きたいことが。
She's probably gonna ask us to call her Sophie-sama.
はあ？さん？
ソフィー様
Yep.
聞きたいことがございますのでこちらに来てくださってもよろしいでしょうか。
いいでしょう。
Didn't hear you, prick. So please sniff. She passes the rest of the way through the rift in space. thing is a real pain in the butt, I swear.
すごいかわいい。ありがとう。あまり騒がないでね。私あなたみたいに想像しい子苦手なの。
うわあ、初対面で。わあ。
で何が聞きたいの？
魔眼について。
石化の能力以上。
いや、もっと知っているはずだ。
Sophie's expression hardens ever so slightly. Seemed like I guessed
他の
correctly.
枝での知識と経験を得る。世界の目。
そうね。
アーティファクトには名前がある。
当然名前をつけないと管理がしにくいし。
じゃあ、都と空のアーティファクトの名前は？
まだないわよ。セフィロトのリストにはないアーティファクトだから。回収したら名前がつけられるんじゃない？
Sounds a little
やっ
suspicious.
ぱりな。
何よ。
セフィロトの管理しきれていないアーティファクトが流出した。そうだな。
それはもう話したでしょ。
だったら石化のアーティファクトをなんで魔眼って呼んだんだ？
Ah.
ち本当に妙なところだけ鋭い。
Flicks her tongue at me. I knew this rat had been hiding
魔眼
something.
のこと知ってるんだな。
ええ、知っているわ。
じゃあどうし
話さなかったのかって？仕方ないでしょ、規則なんだから。
セフィロトのか？
必要以上に漏らせないのよ。
回収しようとしているアーティファクトの情報が必要じゃないっていうのか？
こっちにも立場があるのよ。たとえ協力者だろうが、気を許してペラペラと機密を話してしまったら、その瞬間私は無職よ。
All the
社会
respect.
的地位を失うの。
話したくても話せない。
そういうこと。でもそうね、あなたたちに死なれたら面倒なことになるし、一つだけ教えてあげるわ。言いふらしたりしないでね。
Alright, I wouldn't dream of it.
魔眼のユーザーと1対1で対峙してはダメ。必ず複数で行動すること。2人でいれば魔眼の能力を防ぐことは。
もっと早く聞きたかった情報だな。
Yeah,
他
that
の枝
would.
で都が死んでいなかったらこのヒントもあげなかったわよ。
大丈夫、気にしないでソラちゃん。
他にも何か？
いや、話せないんならもういい。ありがとう。
まったく忙しい私をその程度のことで呼び出すなんて。
Well, you were lying to us, you prick.
都の命がかかってるんだ。
あら、意外と暑苦しい男なのね。
Sophie offers a snarky parting shot at the space around her as the space around her begins to
じ
distort.
ゃあね、困ったことがあったらまた呼んでちょうだい。アドバイスできるかはわからないけれど。
Well, you talk to whoever's in charge and tell them to shove a stick up their butt. She waves a stubby little hand at us. She disappears in the subspace rift.
態度でけえ。
ナチュラルに人を見下すタイプなんだよ。あいつに言われたことあんま気にすんなよ。
Yeah, you can mostly just ignore her, just like I do you.
結構刺さったけどね。てかさ、何あれ？
Or you never cease to amaze me with some of the weird things you say. I love it. I really do. As much as I want her to leave sometimes because she's getting in the way of me and Miyako.
都先輩が死ぬとか命がかかってるとか。
ああ、予言みたいなものな。
予言って都先輩死んじゃうの？
死なないし死なせない。そのために俺たちがいるんだ。手伝ってくれるだろ？
そりゃもう当然っすよ。
ありがとうソラちゃん。
で、手伝うってどうすればいいの？ずっと都先輩のそばにいればいいの？
当てにしてんのはお前の力だ。
ほう、地味で使えねえとか言いやがった私の力を。
根に持ってんな。
当たり前ですよ、持ってますよ。
You better believe it, Slick.
訂正するよ。最強の能力だ。
そこまで言われるとちょっと気持ち悪いですけど。
Oh, jeez. What would give you
ソ
that
ラちゃ
idea?
んに存在感を薄くしてもらって私の能力を使う？
ああ、分岐点は犯人に都がユーザーだとバレることだと思うんだよ。自分の存在を暴きうる力を持つ。だから都の能力を隠し通すことができれば全く警戒されず犯人さえ見つけちまえばこっちの勝ちだ。何せこっちにはお空様がいるからな。
Oh, yes, the great and powerful Sora.
私の隠密術、活躍する時が来たようですね。
Spycraft.
あれ、
なんか不安そうな顔してますけど、私信用ないです。
You know, not really.
何か不安が？
私もしかしたらもう犯人に知られているのかもしれない。
Yeah, I think that's a strong possibility.
え、
It's been a
な
while.
んで？火事の時能力を使っちゃったから。
あ、
How could I forget about something so important? So there's a possibility the culprit was already keeping an eye on us
現
then.
場を見てたなら
The flies
犯
are
人は
back.
1年。友達とかに話しているかもしれないからそうとも言い切れないと思う。
Oh yeah, it definitely could have spread a rumor and that they would be able to tell based on
能
that
力を
information.
把握されている可能性がある。
それでもしかけるくんみたいに頭の回転が速い人で、
真っ先に都を。
私はもう。でもある？そんな記憶まで盗めるかもってそこまで考えちゃう人。
Yeah, if they feel threatened,
人を
sure.
殺すやつだぞ。普通はとか常識ではとか考えない方がいい。
じゃあ速攻で決めないと。あっちが動く前に犯人捕まえないと。
ああ、そうだな。犯人は間違いなく俺たちの生活圏にいる。捕まえられるはずだ。
Every time they say very close to us, it just makes me more suspicious of Yoichi.
まず誰の記憶から読めばいい？かけるくんの判断に従う。
それだよな。結局手当たり次第にはなっちまうんだが、犯人が動いているかもしれない以上。
あ、そうだ。それについて私、お兄様に進言がございますよ。
聞かせてくれ。
はい。皆さんもう忘れているでしょうが、私アガスティアの葉を毎日チェックしていまして。あ、掲示板。
Oh, did you find
そう
out
そう、
anything?
それでね、エデンの女王覚えてます？なんか都先輩が露骨に嫌な顔しましたけど。
Dang, she is jelly.
まあ因縁みたいな。
まあいいけど、なんかね、連休中にオフ会やったっぽいっすよ。オフ会？ネットで知り合った人とリアルで会うことっす。あ、じゃあ
Oh.
大坂先輩、他のユーザーとも接触している可能性があるのか。
偽物だけかもしれないけどね。でももし本物のユーザー同士の集いだったら
I'd be worried about the evil eye user. They're probably tracking all
犯
that
人と
really
も接触
closely.
しているかもしれない。まあそんな間抜けではないと思うけどね。殺人犯がのこのこオフ会とか。
Yeah, sure, but they could have followed those people and spied on
ま
them.
あな。
常識を当てはめるなでしょ。
ああ、人を殺してビクビクするようなやつなら2人も殺さない。間違いなく犯人は人殺しを何とも思っちゃいない。だから普通の生活を送っているはずだ。のんきにオフ会に参加してバカ話で盛り上がってても不思議じゃない。
そのオフ会はどこで行われたの？もちろん聖地っす。聖地。ああ、そっか。アニメのサイトだもんね。一応はアニメの聖地を巡礼しようって趣旨だったみたいよ。
聖地って具体的には？
さあ、どこ行ったかわかんない。
そっか。
Hmm.
じゃあ本人に聞くか。
高坂先輩の記憶を読めばいいんだね。
ああ、参加者が分かったら次はそいつらの記憶を読んでいこ
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
わかった。
う。そら記憶を読むときは一緒に頼む。
オッケーオッケー。朝がいいよね。確実に会えるし。早速明日読んでみよう。
Like
記
this
憶
plan?
ってさ、好きなの選んで読んだりできるの？どうだろう。まだ1回しかやったことないから、多分だけど一番強い記憶が読みやすいのかな。目に見えないものだから選ぶのは難しいかも。
Yeah, you don't necessarily know what you're looking for.
じゃあ出たとこ勝負か。そうなっちゃうね。
You don't know what exactly how her memory
犯
went.
人は間違いなく近くにいる。うちの生徒である可能性、当たりの記憶が読めることを祈ろう。よし、じゃあ今日は解散にすっか。
へい。久しぶりにみやこ先輩のご飯食べたかったけど、命狙われてるなら仕方ないよね。
あんまりそういう直接的な言い方するなよ。
あ、すんません。大丈夫。ソラちゃんも気をつけて帰ってね。私は電車乗るだけだし、スニーキングできるし別にね。じゃあ帰りますか。
Okay, well, it sounds like we have a
ま
plan.
たね。
This is good.
一緒に帰るん。あー、え？ ちょっとまだ個人的な用事があって。
Personal matters. Yes, yes, yes.
イチャつくつもりか。
No way. Yeah.
ああ、いえ。
イチャつくつもりか。
ソラ君。
なんすか。だから黙って千円札出すなよ。買収しようとするなよ。
Here, just leave.
それでケーキでも買って帰りな。
だよもう二人して邪魔者扱いしてさ。
Well, that sucks for you. Find a boyfriend.
そういうわけじゃ。
I'm just not Yoichi because I suspect him, and also he's just a womanizer.
もういい。バカバカ。ニーヤの母ちゃんデーベソ。
お前いいのかそれ。自分のおかんもディスってるぞ。
あ、そうだ。ファイナルビルダーズ借りてっていい？
急に素になるなよ。いいよ。ゲーム機ごと持ってけ。
やったー。じゃあね。イチャイチャして爆発してしまえ。
You know, Sora has these moments of brilliance. I love her. Make out and go to hell. Sora packs the game system on my shelf into her bag and exits my apartment. The click of the door closing comes from the entryway. Take a short trip to the entryway, lock the door, and rush back.
ごめんなさい。ソラちゃんを怒らせちゃって。
ああ、大丈夫。怒ってないよ。
I know.
いっつもあんな感じだから。
そう？
大丈夫、大丈夫。で、用事って？
別にないんだけど。今日、二人きりに慣れてないなって。
Yeah, we haven't. This isn't a tiny voice fidgeting. Her whispered words pierce my heart.
ごめんなさい。早く帰れるように気を使ってくれてるのに。
いや。
Slowly shake my head. I take her hand.
二人きりになりたかったから。
Okay. Miyako squeezes my hand. The dark conversation from a minute ago is only a memory now. I would love to stay like this. For a day. For a week. It makes me wish we could live together. Just the two of us. You can stay the night if you like. If only I could bring myself to say that, but it's far too embarrassing. Instead, I put up a brave front, pretending to be an ordinary guy who's worried for his
暗く
girlfriend.
なる前には帰らないとな。
かけるくんは
ん？
あんまりベタベタされるの嫌い？
いや、そんなことはないよ。
よかった。たくさん甘えたいんだけど、どうすればいいかよくわからなくて。
Take it slow. Let it happen naturally.
無理する必要なんてない。
Yep.
少し
Pretty much what I
ずつ
decided.
作っていければいいじゃん。俺たちのやり方みたいなの。
うん。
I like that plan. It's a good plan.
考えすぎかな。ソフィーさんの話を聞いて、もしかしたら明日にでも死んじゃうんだなって
Oh, yeah.
気づいて。
Very well could be. Who knows?
だから今できることは今しなきゃなって。頑張って甘えてみようと思ったの。
Oh, okay. Her eyes are so calm, so
ご
gentle.
めんね。別に不安ではないの。かけるくんがいるから。勝手だけどまた守ってくれるって知ってるから。あの時のように。
ああ、守るよ。
だからね、心配してないの。かけるくんと一緒なら私は大丈夫。死ぬかもって口実にして甘えたかったの。
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. She would do that.
そんな口実なんて使わず甘えてくれればいいのに。
お父さんとお母さんにもあまり甘えたことないし、難しくて。怖いって震えてた方がよかった？
それなら抱きしめてやれたな。
失敗しちゃった。
You're fine. Put my arms around her and pull her close.
やっぱり恥ずかしい。
俺も
そのうち慣れちゃうのかな。
かもしれない。けど慣れたくないな。
Yeah, it is a magical time when you first are in love with somebody and getting to know them, and you know, it's very nice, but it doesn't last forever. And it's, you know, it's kind of a good thing it doesn't. I like being just like close to somebody and not feeling like nervous and jittery all the time.
ずっとドキドキしていたいね。
死なせない。
I mean, you better not.
絶対に。
I pull her even closer. I can never go so far for the sake of my town, but for the sake of this precious person, I won't even hesitate to risk my life. I will protect Miyako, without a doubt. That's nice. I'm glad. See, we're on 5:10. Almost 5:10. Alright, you guys. Let's see. We're almost about the hour mark. Good episode. Another great episode, might I add. I like that they're still not jumping into anything risque, which I love. Just after playing Cafe Stella, you know, I like that it's a little more down to earth. It's not jumping into anything too quickly. And they have a reason to jump into things quickly, and freaking Cafe Stella just does it anyways. But I digress. Great episode, though. We learned quite a bit about the artifacts and timelines. We learned about that. They finally covered that, which I'm very excited about. That was very interesting to read. I wonder where we're going to go with that from here. I could see them doing a lot more than they have. That's kind of interesting. So I guess the bad endings are pretty much different world lines, if that's where they're going with that. Or maybe there's a way for us to switch world lines, because we still don't know what Kakeru's power is. I have a feeling we're going to find out maybe at the end. I feel like that's going to be maybe the big plot twist for the end, because these are episodic. I believe that's going to like be how we transition into the next route. Something like that. We'll find out. But yeah, I really liked it. Lots of stuff. I'll have to make sure I'm paying attention to what's going on, and so I can use this information. But anyways, guys, I'll stop talking. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. I will see you in the next one.